So I think we were all kind of curious about what kind of role Adam Sandler would take on next after his award-winning performance as Howard Radner in Uncut Gems, and well, enter Hubie Dubois. Hey, what's up everybody, it's Jason. I hope you're doing well. Today we have a brand new movie review, and this time it's Adam Sandler's latest Netflix comedy, Hubie Halloween. So in this film, Sandler plays the title character, Hubie Dubois, and he's basically the town joke of Salem, as in, Salem witch trials, Massachusetts. And he has a really annoying habit, at least annoying to the police and the townspeople, of reporting very unimportant crimes, and he's also designated himself as kind of like a Halloween supervisor for the whole town. So of course, with all of those things going for Hubie, with all that raw, natural, sexual charisma, the town just relentlessly makes fun of him, and no one believes him for the crimes that he does report. So on Halloween, when real crimes do start happening, no one believes him. And therein we have our Halloween mystery film. Alright, so we have another Sandler Netflix comedy. The big question, I'm sure, on everybody's mind is, does this film suck? And actually the answer is no, I didn't think it did. I mean, if you want to sit down and tear the film to shreds, you certainly can. They leave you a lot of material to do that with. But at the end of the day, I didn't think that this film was really without its charms. I mean, I think the biggest crime it committed was being basically a 90s Sandler comedy in 2020. I mean, the end of this film especially does leave you with kind of that warm, fuzzy, heartwarming feeling. I mean, does it cut deep emotionally? No, certainly not. But at the same time, if you're, and this is probably the best way to describe it, if you're in the right mood to watch like a nice Halloween seasonal comedy, I think this could, be the recipe for success. Because like any comedy is supposed to do, it also did make me laugh. And I will say that the amount of times I laughed to the amount of times I didn't laugh wasn't really proportional for a comedy. It was, I sometimes went 20 minutes or so without laughing. And there were definitely a couple of scenes that were very, I guess I could say, Happy Madison production / Adam Sandler cringy. This one scene especially in the very beginning, he throws up. And the worst part about those kinds of like cringy comedy scenes in these movies is that they last just far too long. Because if you're like me, every once in a while you'll see one of those scenes and you just go, ugh. And then it just keeps going, and then you almost play a game with yourself of how long you could keep that exact look on your face. And while we're on the subject of negatives, I'll go ahead and list off a couple of others that I'm pretty sure people are going to have with this film. I mean, the storyline and the writing itself is just, this film is not a masterclass on how to do either, let's just say. I mean, all the characters in this film, including our hero, Mr. Hubie Dubois himself, are very much two-dimensional. Although I did think that most of the actors, especially the child actors, did a really good job with the roles that they did have in this kind of a film. But the characters are basically there to either bully him or be sympathetic and support Hubie and, save him from the bullies, essentially. And then on top of that, there is a love interest in this film that's just completely unbelievable, and you're just kind of expected to go along with it for some reason. It's between Sandler and Julie Bowen, who plays a character whose name I actually don't remember. And then in addition to the poor storytelling, like I touched on earlier, the comedy in this film doesn't always land. There's definitely a lot of cringy jokes in here, those kind of trademark 2000s Adam Sandler jokes. Nothing as bad as Jack and Jill or The Ridiculous Six, but also just not great. I think the ratio of jokes that made me laugh versus didn't make me laugh is, well, I don't understand ratios very well, but it's not good. But at the end of the day, this film did actually make me laugh a couple of times, and like I said, I found the end really kind of heartwarming. And the thing with this film is that you're either going to go and sit down and ready to just rip on it, or you're going to sit down and think to yourself, hey, it's Halloween, I want to watch kind of a fun Halloween movie, and if you're in the right mood, it could catch you in just the right way to make it enjoyable. And of course, that's a lot of caveats to put on a film to make it, watchable and good. But I still really do think that there is a time and a place for this film. I mean, cards on the table, I am most definitely a sucker for this kind of fun seasonal film. I'm just a big fan of the holidays in general, whether it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And whenever there's a film that's out like this, I always do my best to let myself enjoy it and just get in the spirit of the season, I guess. So with that, I truly believe that if you sit down with kind of the right mindset and just, I guess, an open enough mind to watch this film, there is enjoyment to be had watching it. The last thing I want to point out before I close out this review is just the inordinate amount of like ex-child Disney actors in this film. If you grew up mostly in like the 2000s, late 90s kind of era, if you look closely enough, there's like China Anne McClain from Ant Farm, there's Gabe from Good Luck Charlie, there's those Emma and Robbie from Jessie, and then you get to the point where if you kind of like saw Adam Sandler's Twitter or just saw like the announcement, at the very end of this film, Adam Sandler also just made this film a tribute to Cameron Boyce, who died, I think, sadly at the age of 22 from a seizure. He was supposed to be another one of those ex-Disney child stars in this film. He also starred in Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2 with Adam Sandler, so it's it was really sad. I remember watching and hearing the news about his death and just remembering how much he's younger than me, and he was able to do that much, and obviously Sandler misses him very much, and the rest of us do too. So that also kind of got to the heartwarming part. That wasn't the heartwarming part I was talking about in this film. It's in the actual film itself, but I guess I just wanted to make note of that. And with that said, the final tally of this film is actually very hard to rate for me, because I'm kind of torn between that like childhood enjoyment of seasonal films like this and more of the critical side where it's like the story was bad, the characters were very two-dimensional, and there's just, you could see the ending coming a mile away. And with that, I would say that if you're in the Halloween spirit, I would rate this movie at a 7 out of 10, but if you're in any other spirit besides that, this movie quickly drops to a 4 out of 10. So that's going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like or subscribe below. It really helps out the channel. And until next time, stay safe, be kind, and happy Halloween.